So please forgive the untidy table. No. So Project Wireless is very simply replacing this component here from the underneath the radio in a Citroen C5 X7. As you can see, it's a lovely compartment, but it does not fit a smartphone. Samsung S8 doesn't fit in any way. Shut up. So what I've done, in a previous video I showed a prototype that works. It's a working prototype, and it's actually in my car right now working, but I've decided to redo it with some proper materials. Okay, so this is something I've done in CAD, and it's the proper dimensions, the forward elevation, the front elevation of the drawer that I want to make. These squares and such, these are the fittings where the original drawer, if I can just show you, can you see that? Where these pieces fit into the car's center console. And the idea is to redo the original cardboard drawer with one made in slightly better materials. Now it doesn't look like much, and it's made from an ice cream box, as you can see. Originally I was going to use the lid as the front, but that didn't go well because it's just too small. I'm going to put it like so. Don't know if that is visible. Way too small. So I found an alternative. But before I show you the alternative, this is what the box is looking like. It's got this hole here, so it allows the plug and wire through, and it's made of plastic, so it's more or less durable. And I've used a hot glue gun and sellotape combo. Well, this is gaffer tape, I should say. So it's a gaffer tape and hot glue combo to give it some rigidity, but I think I'm going to have to reinforce it somehow because it's still a bit flimsy. But for the alternative of the front fascia, simply put, it's a car carpet. Okay, I'll remove that. I found this in the bin, and even though it's got no flat surfaces, I'm going to see if I can make the most of this part here. Cut a bit, and I think that will do nicely for the front part of this new tray, this wireless charging tray. So I'm trying to reinforce this, and it hasn't gone well because I've used hot glue and some old CD covers, but the hot glue distorts the plastic because it sort of melts, and that is not ideal. But I actually think I'm going to persevere and see if I can get it right. So anyway, this is the reinforced result. Not pretty, but then it won't be visible, and hopefully it'll work. That looks a lot worse than it is. On camera, I should say. The next step is to cut the front fascia piece. Don't know if it's fascia, I think that's how you say it in car speak. I'm not sure, but it doesn't matter. This bit here. I don't think it's going to be rigid enough though, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I can reinforce it with some rigid material. So it's a bit later, I'm in the car. This is the prototype. Now to get the wireless charger out, I'm going to have to destroy it because I glued it in. You can see the hole was made. I placed the charger in place, and then I glued it so it doesn't come out. You can see I used some paper clips to keep the wires in place because I really got getting on my nerves. But yeah, this is the original one. I'm rather pleased with it, to be honest, and it helped me decide, you know, what size it's going to be, what it's not going to look like, etc, etc. We can see it looks a bit poorly, and it also keeps coming out, which isn't great. Now I've already placed the replacement, and it didn't actually come out as well as I had hoped. You can see that didn't come out well, but actually it doesn't look that bad. Okay, but of course it could look a bit better. But I'm not happy with it, actually. I'm just not happy with it at the moment. Update. This doesn't fit in this box I made. So this is trash. So I found a black plastic barrel in the bin made of really thick plastic. It's perfect, really what I needed. Also, I recut that rubber front part. I redid some contours on the inside, as you can see here, so the rubber charging mat would have somewhere to sort of like latch onto, and not just the mat, also the side walls of the box I was going to build out of that thick plastic. Now, once it was all done, I thought it looked rather good. I added some extra plastic on the outside. It looks terrible from the back, but it was nice and heavy and it felt durable, if you understand what I mean. And I was really happy with this, actually. So, it's more or less finished, and it all actually looks okay, but it doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. This is too thick. I wasn't expecting that. I'd measured it. I thought it would be a snug fit, but it's not. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove that. I'm going to get me some of this rubber mat, and what's more, I think I'm going to use the same plastic I used here because it's thin, so that will give it some rigidity. Now that's the plan. No idea if it's going to work, but we'll see. Okay, so there's as much light on as possible for this. Let me put that in fourth. This is the final product with everything glued together. It doesn't look that great. I added these two bits, as I said, rubber matting, to see if this helps to keep the fit snug. On the outside it looks like an utter shambles, but I don't care. It's not going to be visible. So we're going to try it. The thingamajig. Okay, in you go. Come on. Hang on a second. That's not going in well, is it? That actually looked better before. So what's going on? That's looked better. God, I'm sweating. But anyway, the fit is too snug, which means I can put it in, but then it's a bit of a palaver to get it out. Right now, I'm not finding the way to remove this. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I just can't get it out. I'm going to need to put some rigid plastic here to make sure this doesn't happen. Okay, so this came off. Finally got it out. I finally got it out, and one of these bits came off. So that probably means it's a good idea. That is helping to keep the tray in. Sorry about the terrible, absolutely awful perspectives. I had to film this in the car because at home it's impossible. The noise. Yeah, I've got kids. So yeah, that's been done. I've reinforced this bit so this lip doesn't fall down, and also here behind the bottom edge. Okay, I'm going to have to turn off because I'm going to need both hands for this. So after installing, I noticed that as I pushed it in, the front rubber was still too wide, so it would buckle and it would create a little dimple, which I thought was really ugly. So I removed it, took it home, shaved a bit off each side, and I took it back and put it back in. It looked great. So I got the rubber mat, and off camera I threaded in the cable through the little hole I'd left, and threaded the cable, the USB cable, through the innards of the car. Now I've managed to thread the cable through, and right now it's connected here. And the idea, next video, will be me removing the kick panel, I think it's called, that. I'm going to thread that wire all the way across to here, the fuse box, which is behind here. There's the fuse box, okay? There. But I'm going to need some components that haven't arrived yet. But either way, it's a snug fit. It won't come out anytime soon. I shaved some bits off each side to make it fit a little more properly. And so far it seems to have worked. So yeah. On camera it does look very out of place and weird and such. But with regular daytime light, it actually looks, at a glance, it looks like it's not out of place. So I'm happy with that. So that's my wireless charging dock. It works at least. Next video, as I think I've mentioned before, will be wiring up the wireless charging pad to the car's fuse box. And that's it. So thanks very much for watching. If you made it this far, do those things, you know, YouTubers ask people to do: subscribe, like, yet, etc, etc. You can if you want to, I don't mind. And I hope to see you again. I bid you farewell.